in the boat.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Rhino. Oh, Rhino.
Is this thing live? Are we on? Hey, I want to send all of you a very, very special thank you from me. I know the schedule has been a little up and down as of late, but all of you have been there. I've seen the chat. If the shows have not gone off, I promise you we are back on a steady track, and we are coming down to the wire of this season. I'm looking at the Western Conference, and I'm trying to make sense of it. I need your help. Can you all help me make sense of this Western Conference and what this Kings team is? You see him come out of the break and just get killed, annihilated by the Warriors. And then they bounce back against a really bad Charlotte team. I get that. No, I'm not at the Radisson. Here we go. We going to guess where Rhino is at? Is that what today is going to be about? Where the hell in the world is Rhino in Sacktown? Kind of like the Carmen San Diego thing. You know, maybe I am in San Diego. You don't know. The bottom line is I am with all of you today. We're here for a couple of hours. We've got the Kings Roundtable. We're not doing pregame today because we're going to do the roundtable. Jerry, Grant, and I will be back 5 o'clock before the Utah game, and then we get you ready for the Jazz and the Kings. And look, y'all, the spread's 9.5. 9.5. It should be 19.5, considering who Utah has out. No, Rohit, I am not at the Motel 6. Any other guesses? I guess we can do this for the next hour and a half. I'll take them. If you get it right, I'll be honest with you. But hey, let's get to it. We're going to talk about the West. We're going to talk about the Kings, the changing rotation. Anybody look further into Doug Christie's rotation against Charlotte? Is that going to continue? So a lot on the menu. Also, how about that graphic the Kings put up of their next home game against the San Antonio Spurs? Anybody catch the audio of how that was received by the fans last game? We'll talk about it as well. That seems to be a massive talking point already, but a big show planned for you. All of you, get in here on the phones, get in here on the chat. Let's get it going on a Wednesday. Welcome in to the Kings Court.
Lights on the screen, hey, it's Grant and Ryan. We bleed purple, talking hoops, never lying. Sacramento Kings, we rise and we fall. If you don't like that, then you don't know ball. Jerry sitting with the stories of the game, spilling all the truth, driving legends insane. From the Cow Palace days to Arco's roar, this town's heart beats on the hardwood floor. If you don't like that, turn away now. Kings
It's time, y'all. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Feel like I have not seen you as much as I normally do. We went through that whole 2-3 weeks where it was the trade deadline and the Kings were making moves. De'Aaron was traded. We were on the air 24/7. It slowed down a little bit, but we are ramping up. It is game 58 tonight on the schedule. Utah and the Kings, a must win. The Kings have to win this game. I said it coming out of the break. They've got to go 5-2 in this stretch. They've got a 3 or 4 game road trip. quick little one. You do Denver, two of the Texas teams, and tonight in Utah. And then guess who is back at the G1 seed? None other than De'Aaron Fox. He gets to take center stage without any excuses. No Wemby next to him. Hell, it's going to be a fun game. But how's everybody doing? What's going on? We will get to the chat in a minute. We've also got phone calls lined up. Want to hear from all of you. All you got to do, hit the link in the chat. That will get you to the phone lines. If you see yourself on screen, if you see me on screen, that means that you are on hold. You are waiting. I will be coming to you shortly after that. Now, the other night with the Kings was not without its issues. The first is Keon Ellis. I think we've got to hit that right off the top. Good news here. Keon's not listed on the injury report as of right now, and he made the trip to Utah. Kings went through shoot around earlier this morning. I am not sure if Keon went through or not. I did not get confirmation of that. But either way, he's on the trip and not on the injury report. There's some other reporting out there saying that he's listed as questionable. The injury report I'm looking at has nobody on the Kings listed on it. And then also, what about that third quarter? That third quarter, we just have an ugly just stretch that always rears its head this season, no matter how good of a game can be. The problem is, as we come down this stretch, I'm going to put this graphic up for all of you really quick. Here's strength of schedule for the rest of the season. And by the way, this changes on a daily basis. So this is not locked into concrete. It changes as games are played. But notice those two teams at the top, Sacramento and Phoenix. If I am a Kings fan, which I am, now I do my job first, but in my core, in my heart, it bleeds silver and purple. But Phoenix and Sacramento, those are the two teams that are going to be vying for those last two spots. I think Golden State's going to move up. I'm sorry to say it. I don't want to say it. Pressure, skateboard flippers, whatever you told us it was last show. I think you're moving up in the standings. Now, it doesn't mean the Kings can't get the tiebreaker with Golden State, which will come at the Chase Center here in a couple of weeks. But I am watching what Phoenix is doing. And right now, Phoenix is not playing very good basketball. They are 2-8 in their last 10. Now, they put up 148 points against the Grizzlies. They allowed 151. But at the end of the day, they still scare the hell out of me. You know why they scare the hell out of me? They've got Kevin Durant, and the Kings don't. They have Devin Booker. The Kings don't. One game sample sizes. That's what it is. That's why it's so important not to be in the play-in. But again, a lot of basketball that this team has to get through before we even get to that point, and we can have that discussion. But it is a very interesting graphic. The Kings' next homestand, brutal. Absolutely brutal as I bring you back in. Happy to be with you. Again, don't forget, we are here all day. This is just us kicking off the coverage on If You Don't Like That. 5 o'clock, we get you ready for the Kings and the Jazz. Instead of a pregame show, you get Jerry, you get Grant. We're going to do our weekly roundtable. That'll be a lot of fun. By the way, we take your calls on the roundtable. So hang in there. If you want to give us a call, try not to make it too long-winded. We want to be respectful of Jerry's time. Jerry loves hearing from a lot of you. So if you want to call, we'll have the link up for that during the roundtable. Obviously, halftime, we'll be getting you all set for the second half, recapping the first half. And then the post-game show tonight, Grant and I take you home. We'll be taking a lot of calls. We've had a ton of first-time callers. Good job by all of you. Really enjoyed all that. So a big night of programming, a Kings game day of programming. Looking forward to it. Let's kick off the phones with none other than PK. What's up, PK?
I guarantee you're at Hilton or at Marriott.
Why are you so
Hey.
confident? Marriott, PK.
Yeah, I know. Here's one thing. Stop the crying, everyone, about the schedule for Kings. You know, everyone will have a really tough schedule on the West because everyone's going to beat the dog, you know what, out of each other coming next 27 games, right? So, like, everyone's going to beat the hell out of each other. And, you know, I almost like that Kings have this tough schedule. And today, I promise you, Kings beat Jazz by 30. By 30, guaranteed. Thank you.
Good night now. PK hanging up. Strong call. Do you want me to rack you, PK? Wrong show. I love how he says I'm out though. I wonder how long PK would last with Jim Rome. I don't know how well that would go. I don't know that PK would get through the screening process on Romy. That would be interesting. Maybe we should get PK to try to call Rome. Maybe I could set that up for PK. Get him on a national stage. I wonder what, you know, PK might catch fire if he got that opportunity on a national stage. Hugs to you too, MC. Appreciate everybody here as we get you ready again for the Kings and the Jazz. Kings by 30 tonight. Why not? Honestly, why not? I'm not really looking so much at the final score as I am the product on the court. I don't want to see, because now in 2 games since the All-Star break, we saw a Kings team against Golden State that, quite frankly, to me, looked no different than the Kings team that had not practiced before the All-Star break. And then we saw a Kings team against Charlotte that looked completely different. And when I say completely different, I'm not sitting here and telling you this team's making the playoffs. I'm not telling you this team's going to make a deep run. What I'm telling you is there was structured basketball on the court against Charlotte for most of the game. Structured basketball. Did you see, like, I went back and watched it, and I've got a couple plays that we'll go through here in a second. I watched it a second time, and to see how much more involved, how much more intentional some of these guys were, right? Just touching the basketball. I say it all the time. It makes a massive difference, and it definitely did that game. Everybody was on the same page. Everybody was riding, like, you know, surfers. If you're a surfer, bro, you're from SoCal, bro, and you take the 405. Notice how I put the in front of a freeway, because that's what SoCal people do. The 405 down to PB, bro, or La Jolla, and you ride out and you have to wait for your wave, bro, and there's like an etiquette to it, bro, and there's a grip of surfers out there, bro. You know how everybody only gets one wave usually? Well, no. That Kings team, they were all on the same wave. They rode the same one back to the shore, and that's what I like to see. I want to see that tonight. I don't care if the Kings are playing Boston. I don't care if the Kings are playing Milwaukee. I don't care if the Kings are playing the Jazz without Lowry Markkanen, without Colin Sexton, without John Collins. Thank goodness, by the way, John Collins, all Kings killer for sure. I don't care if they're playing that team. I still want to see the same Kings. It's been the same problem this team's had since the Beam team. It's, can the Kings beat the Kings first? If the Kings usually beat the Kings, they usually also beat the team that's in front of them as well. So that's what I am looking for tonight. I want to see that same effort. Let's go back to the phones. My man, Mr. Moss. What's up, dude?
Hey, Randall, long time, buddy. How you been, man?
I know. How have you been? Doing well.
Not too bad. Can't complain. I think you make a great point there. You know, you want to see this team on the same accord, same page, you know, one string. I also agree, you know, when guys are touching the rock per se, you know, getting a feel for the basketball, you know, you're going to get a more engaged player, you know, and I feel like some of these teams, many of the younger teams, you know, the star players get the bulk of the possessions, and it just takes away from the team. And so I'm glad that the Kings are, and also too, man, I'm not sure about you, man, but this is my favorite time of the year. It's after All-Star break. Teams know who they are. Transactions have been made. And so,
Most teams
well,
know who they are.
agree. Most teams know who they are. It's time to play. It's time to go. It's time to rev it up. And so there's some guys on this roster, DeMar, right?
Yep.
To be exact, like his leadership needs to show up and show out right now, right? Far as it's time to go, it's time to make that stretch run. They're in the 10th seed, they're 3 games above Phoenix. And they're a few games back from that 7 or 6 seed or what have you. And so there's no excuse, right? I mean, there's too much talent on this roster for them not to be in the postseason. I'm sorry. I just can't excuse it if they don't get there. Now sometimes better team oversees better talent. So because you have talent doesn't mean you're going to make the postseason. I get that. But come on. I mean, there's teams with way less, Rhino, who shouldn't be in front of the Kings. Now, some of that is, structure, discipline, organization,
Right.
coaching, things of that nature, trying to get used to guys. But, I'm not a Kings fan, but I've been excited and looking forward to rushing home. I don't go to as many games as I used to. The family
Yeah.
goes. But I want to see how they do in these last 24, 25 games. I want to see how Doug coaches. I want to see the leadership of DeMar DeRozan. I want to see Zach LaVine. He ain't got to drop 40 points per se, but can DeMar and Zach, be consistent scorers in the fourth quarter? Can they get stops when needed? And so that's what I'm excited to see. So I'm not sure about you, man, but I think they have a chance to kind of get within that 6, 7, 8 seed, and then you just see what happens. But they have no business being the 10th seed right now. It's time to go. So we'll see.
Do you realistically think they can get to 6?
If they want to run, it's not impossible. It's not impossible, but is it going to be tough? Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think 7, 8, 9, 10 is more realistic. But I think for a team like Sacramento, Rhino, would I be wrong if I said that if you take every starting 5 in the association right now, the Kings are probably in the top 5 or 6? You look at Cleveland, Boston, OKC. I mean, I think after that, the Kings are right there with every other team, in my opinion.
It's a good question.
think
I would
you
have to
can-
think about that. It's a good question.
Yeah, but maybe 6 is out the realm. And I only mentioned 6 because I don't want to be in 7, 8, 9, or 10 where anything can happen, right? I don't want to be there. I mean, we saw the Pelicans last year, do what they did, or maybe I think that was last year.
Well,
And you lose
yeah, I mean, I'll put it up really quick for us, Moss. Let's look at it. I mean, if you end up there, I got
Yeah.
mouses. I got so many things going on here. All right. If you end up theoretically in that grouping, look at who you're going to have to play. I mean, let's assume Phoenix is in that mix, right? I don't think Portland, San Antonio, definitely not the Pelicans or the Jazz are going to be anywhere. In fact, they're damn near close to being eliminated as we sit today. But you're going to be looking at Clippers, a Timberwolves, a
Dallas.
Golden State, a Dallas.
Phoenix.
Like it's not going to be an easy.
It doesn't look good. Yeah, it doesn't. Rhino. I mean, Golden State's playing much better, right? Now,
100%.
you can't triple team Steph like you did last year or the year before and take the ball out of his hands. You look at Dallas. I mean, they lost last night, but I mean, I left that game saying, wow, if they're healthy, Lord have mercy, right?
They just play hard.
Yeah,
Moss, they just play hard.
Yeah, and they defend. And then Phoenix, if the game is close in the fourth, I mean, listen, Phoenix Suns might be one of the most dysfunctional teams in the league, but get them in the fourth quarter and at full strength. I mean, Kevin and Devin, they give them a chance, right? I mean, that's all I'm saying.
100%.
I mean, they just have a chance. And then last but not least, you look at Minnesota, I mean, yeah, I don't know. So that's why I said the 6th seed, because you don't want to be in that 4-game gauntlet or the Lions' den, because to win 2 of those games or one of those games, if you're the 9th or 10th seed, it's easier said than done. But, so that's why I said that, Rhino. But I'm looking forward to the stretch run, man. I'm excited. I mean, usually I'm not as excited about the Kings team, in years past, but this year I think, and I haven't even looked at their schedule in their last 20 plus games, so I haven't even judged their schedule yet.
Oh, well,
Um,
let me help you out, dude. It
okay,
is brutal. It is murderer's row. So, you go check this out. So we've got Utah, Houston, which we know about, would be playing you. You and I will talk before that. Dallas, Denver, San Antonio, Clippers, New York, Golden State, and then you got at Phoenix. After that, Moss, this is your homestand. Memphis, Cleveland, Chicago, Milwaukee, Boston, OKC, and Portland. And by the way, Boston and OKC, it's a back to back.
yeah, you know what? After you just read what
9,
you just read,
10.
yeah, 9 or 10, 9 or 10. Dang,
6 ain't
9 or 10.
happening. I just, unless somebody, unless a couple of teams fall off the map and somebody significant gets hurt, which I don't wish upon any team, like, it's
Right.
not happening. I just don't see it.
I mean, I know, I'm up against it, but teams like Cleveland and Boston, I mean, I think they're pretty set where they're at. Maybe you get some guys resting, right? Because Cleveland's coming late in the season. That's a game I'll probably go to versus the Cavaliers. But maybe you catch some of those teams, Ryan, that are going to sit some guys because their seeding doesn't matter per se. But you're right, man. That's like Grant would say, that's just brutal.
Brutal.
And you know, listen, those teams can score and play defense for the most parts, most of those teams. So I think you're right. So 9 and 10 seeds is probably realistic, and they're gonna have to win 2 games to get in. And I'm with you. That changes my whole opinion. What you just showed me, it totally changes my perception. And this is why early on during the season, when the schedule is easy and you got games you're supposed to win, a la Detroit
Bingo.
Pistons and teams like that, these games come back to haunt you. You know what I'm saying? And
Nailed
so,
it.
hey, it is what it is, man. But like always, Ryan, I appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate you too, dude.
Yes,
Be
sir.
how's the new puppy, by the way?
Oh, the new dog is doing good. For you guys, I just got a brand new all black golden doodle. He has finally adjusted, to the surroundings to the house. I think when you came, Randall, you saw my all white doodle, but
Right.
we got an all black one, and
Right.
it took time for the dogs to kind of coexist. But no complaints. Everybody's doing good, man. The dogs are doing good. We're a dog family, so everything we do is based around them. But no complaints, man, at all.
Love
Zero.
it, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
All
Thank you,
right.
Ryan.
Talk to you
Yes,
soon,
sir.
Mossy. Good man. Good man right there, Mr. Moss. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here. I'm really not. In fact, I'll give you a little bit of sugar. The Kings usually play up to their competition, right? They usually do. It's a fact. Can't quantify it. Don't know why it is, but they do. There is no room for slippage here. Like, none. If Adam's watching, there can't be a wardrobe malfunction. There's a wrestling term for Adam. You just can't have it. Now, the one team that he brought up there, Cleveland, I'm not going to go too far into depth on them. They're the real freaking deal. They might not have like one of the top 5 stars in the NBA. Go watch the Cleveland Cavaliers play for 48 minutes. It is incredible. There is no wasted movement. I mean, they are connected on a string. That is how together they are as a team. They're scary. They are really scary. And I'm really interested to see, as the Eastern Conference playoffs shake out, what they're going to look like when they match up against those teams with multiple stars. Cleveland might be one of the best teams I have seen in the last 5 years. And I'm not talking about superstars. I'm not talking about teams like the Lakers where you've got Bron and Luka. I mean, just the best connected all together as as 5 playing as one. It's incredible what Kenny Atkinson has going right now, and it came absolutely out of nowhere, by the way. Out of nowhere. He got guys to buy into certain roles. The conversations he had with Donovan Mitchell. Remember Jared Allen? Nobody wanted him this summer. A lot of talk about moving him. Incredible stuff. You still see them twice this year. So that'll be interesting. But the schedule, really, really tough for this Kings team. Really tough, but we'll see. Crazier things have happened. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, I do, that this team sneaks into the play-in. It's probably the 10 seed. I don't know that they come in strong. Maybe they back into it, but I just don't. And this is strictly a gut feeling. I'm not giving you any analytics. I can't give you a basketball reason. It just feels like they're going to have a shot to make the playoffs. So we'll see. Let's go back to the phones. Love all the calls. Dennis, what's up today, buddy?
Yo, Rhino was cooking.
Nothing, man. I had Chipotle last night, so I didn't have to cook anything.
Right on.
What's up, dude?
No, just I'm excited to see what this team does tonight. I mean, they gave us a little hope in the last game to show us a little glimpse of what they can do offensively and defensively. It was nice to see, honestly. I mean, that's not without the third quarter woes. Obviously,
Oh
the
my
droughts,
gosh. Oh my.
the grenades, But I think we're working through that, and like the players have been saying that too. I mean, yes, it took Zach LaVine 8 games to go 8 of 9 from 3, but hey, I like to see it. I mean, let's keep that going. I mean, I'm so optimistic about that because once he gets cooking, Rhino, I mean, it's going to open the floor. It's going to space us a lot better. I like how the coach, right when Monk started doing his little thing of over dribbling too much and trying to create all on his own instead of trying to create for somebody else, he pulled him. And he inserted Keon, and Keon comes in, bang, back-to-back threes for him. It's like, whoa, all right, cool, right? And then I like how Coach kind of like snuck Monk back in with the second unit. And then, bam, Monk was a facilitator. Monk was hitting his shots. It's like, okay, great. I like seeing that, It was unfortunate Keon going down, but everybody
Yeah.
stepped up, though. Even down to the last man off the bench for the blowout. I mean, Trey Lyles, he was the last guy off the bench. You wouldn't even known it. He was three of three. Two of three from downtown. It's like everybody stepped up. I like that. I really do.
So I'm really glad you brought his name up because that's part of the reason that I titled the show La Change or Rotation La Change or something like that because of Jake LaRavia. Jake LaRavia in the first half took Trey Lyles minutes. Trey Lyles did not play in the first half. In fact,
100%,
it wasn't
100%.
until it was not till the Kings were going through, and what you're looking at on the screen is the third quarter stat sheet. Atrocious. The Kings had 8 turnovers at the half. They had 8 that quarter. But Trey Lyles, to his credit, he comes in, knocks down a couple of threes. I think he was a plus something. I think he was a plus. Well, for the quarter, let's see. As I'm looking at the stat sheet, screen's too far away from me right now. Anyways, he was a plus for the game. But for a guy that normally is in the rotation to fall out of the rotation and then come in and be able to step up, that was big. But I think that's my question now is what does this rotation look like? And is Trey Lyles possibly out of it at this point? Is Doug not going to go to him? Because Laravia played well. I mean, Laravia's game's different. It's hectic, right?
The Ravia played excellent. Let's not
Yeah.
discredit Laravia because all his deflections, all his
Right.
assists, the guy didn't even shoot a shot, Rhino, and look how
Right.
he impacted the game. Oh my
Plus
goodness.
28. Yes, I know. So it's going to be interesting to see how Doug does this thing down the stretch. But I know this with the schedule that we just looked at, Dennis. If you have a quarter like what's on the screen, you're done against
Oh,
most of these teams.
1,000%, Rhino. I'm
Done.
never going to disagree with you on that. Like that third quarter, if we would have did that against a better team instead of the worst team in the NBA, because honestly, by far, from all the games I've seen, Hornets are just atrocious. They are just they're the bottom feeders of the league. And if we'd have lost to them, it'd have been epic. It'd have been like disastrous for us. But we
No
showed
doubt.
up. But like I said, the third quarter hiccups. And I don't mind that because I want to see our faults. I want to improve our faults. I want to correct that cohesiveness, like you're saying about getting to the right flow, getting to the right bench guys, knowing who to put in. And honestly, I think we need all these guys. Like even Trey Lyles is 13 minutes, I think it was. We needed that, honestly.
Yeah, I think where we have to be careful. I don't disagree with you, Dennis, but that wasn't a hiccup in the third quarter. That was like that fan that overindulged and lost everything on the court 4 years ago. That's what that was in the third quarter. Like, I don't mind a mistake here or there, bad turnover, whatever. I mean, but when you're coach in a game like that, think about this, everybody. Doug Christie only had 2 timeouts left in the third quarter in a game against one of the worst teams in the NBA that had really no chance, but they were coming back and playing harder than the Kings. Like, that's more than a hiccup. And I think that's what worries me, because every team's going to have a hiccup. That was a just full bleh, all over the court. Like, every bad thing the Kings had in their back pocket came out on the court. And I don't know why it happens, Dennis, because other teams
No,
don't
I'm not. I'm
usually
not
do that.
gonna. No, I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. As Kings fans, 100% right. No, we
Yeah,
we feel these growing pains, and
yeah.
this is a rookie head coach with us. This is a brand new team with Zach Levine. 8 games in, had a historic night, 16 of 19. I'm just really optimistic that just it keeps improving for us. It doesn't go back to start. Nothing has to go back to basics. Nothing is. Let's just keep improving what we have here, and I honestly think it'll get better. It's just like you're saying though. It's just that flow of rookie head coach Doug Christie getting that blend and gel of these guys in, and getting that cohesiveness that we saw, and not just in spurts but whole quarters. And that's what's going to separate us from everybody else. That's when our brand is playing. Kings basketball is playing. When we're not just hitting offensively, we're not just doing all the little things like Jake, excuse me, Laravia was doing. Like, oh my gosh, all the hustle plays. Like we actually saw like a mob style bench. You had Jonas coming in, big 8 rebounds. Like that guy is a Viking. Like, and how many minutes did he play? It's like everybody's doing their job, and when you see that, you just give Kings fans hope, and that's all we need.
No, I hear you. It is what Kings fans are addicted to. That is the crack. That is the drug that Kings fans love. It's the hustle. It's the getting on the ground. It's the stuff that doesn't show up on the score sheet. That's what makes Kings fans special to me. Other fans in the NBA, it's seeing a dunk, it's seeing a three. No, it's that little stuff for Kings fans that gets them going. And yeah, I think that you need to see that more consistently across the board from everybody. And here's one other thing that we need to recognize: the Sacramento Kings are probably the only team in the NBA that have 6 starters. I mean that. I get that every team has a sixth man. Keon Ellis is a 6th starter. He is coming into the game like 3 to 4 minutes into the first quarter. It's such a unique situation. I mean, I forget if it was Fox I think it was Foxy that would always get the first break under Mike Brown, and that usually wasn't until like between the 5.5 and 6 minute mark. Now you're getting Keon super early, so it's interesting how Doug's trying to ramp this thing up. But being on the same page is very important. Dennis, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for calling in as always. Always a pleasure talking to you. Good job by Dennis. I don't want to neglect the chat. Let's get to some of these really quick. Mavs traded Doncic for a bag of chips. Anthony Davis is not a bag of chips. He's a set of street clothes. Come on, Pressure. Do better.
That's terrible.
Do better. And Pressure flippers. Can you even do that with your skateboard? Can you do a pressure flip? I'm trying to imagine what the heck that would be. Pressure, Lakers cheated. Okay, the Lakers. Yo, it ain't cheating if it goes through the NBA league office. It ain't cheating. You might not like it. Adam Silver approved it. Would David Stern have approved it? I don't know. Who knows? Brown lost the team and just gave up. Yeah, John, you know I love you, brother. I don't know that Brown lost the team. I think Brown, okay, John, I'm going to let that fly. I'm not going to go in on that. I'm not going to go against it. I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to let that one pass. I'm getting out of the carpool lane, letting that one just go right by me, and now I'm getting back into my lane. PK, agree that the Luka trade overshadowed everything this year and probably for many years to come. That Luka game last night in Los Angeles against the Mavericks for the first time, it gave you glimpses, like just little glimpses of how freaky those two could be together. Jerry Reynolds said last week on our roundtable that if the Lakers played LeBron at 5, which in many situations they could, the Lakers may have a significant advantage on a lot of teams. And I got to say, man, for all of the things that we get on Luka about, his love for Golden Corral, his lack of work ethic at times, him crying to the officials, that dude's got some freaky basketball senses. I mean, freaky basketball senses. He sees the court 360 degrees. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Zero chance Walker Kessler and Nick, man. Nick, we got to be careful about these things. I don't like these things going into the ether because you never know. They might come at you like a damn spider monkey.
Come at you like a spider monkey.
At the end of the day, the Kings don't have a coach. Well, they do right now. It's Doug Christie, which we'll talk about in a minute. The whiteboard is fired up. I'm going to show you what I saw and why I think Zach LaVine was able to break out because of that. And hopefully you see it again tonight. Here's the other thing you got to remember. The Kings didn't do anything that was special against Charlotte. Like, these were not any type of new plays that the Kings have never ran before. They're not new to the NBA. The Kings just happened to run them well, and they ran them against a very bad team. But it's the NB freaking A, meaning teams will adjust. It is now on film. So teams will have answers on how to guard these things. It's a big game of chess. So that's why Doug Christie today, probably on the flight to Utah, Luke Laux, the rest of the team, Jay Triano, Jay Triano does most of the offense. Jay is probably looking at the different adjustments. And I'm going to show you some of the different adjustments on the whiteboard. So it's trying to stay a step ahead of your opponent. But really, the thing that makes it go, and I think can make it go all the more effective, is Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz is really kind of the wild card to all this for the Kings. And it's not just on the offensive end, it's on the defensive end too. He changes things a little bit. We know his court vision's really good. I had no idea that he could still get up the way he did in his first game here in Sacramento. But Markelle Fultz changes a lot of things for the Kings. Markelle Fultz, to a degree, is one of those guys. I always talk about the Kings playing out of position. Almost every single King is playing out of position. When Markelle Fultz is on the court, there's different times throughout the games where guys are playing in position, which kind of changes that formula a little bit. So how much is Markelle going to be able to play? The big question, can he stay healthy? Yet to be seen, but I have been overly impressed with Markelle Fultz and his run here in Sacramento so far. Rhino, what website is that? Which one? Let me know which one. Are you talking about the box scores? You talking about the box score where I have it printed out like they do at the arena? Is that what you are talking about? Fultz is fresh, or Fulton is fresh. Yes, indeed. All right, let's go back to the phones. We'll get back to the chat in a second. Again, appreciate all y'all being here. This is always a great time doing the King's Court with you, and we are going to be back to the same schedules. King's Court every day except usually Wednesdays. Because we have the Kings Roundtable. We're just doing that later today, which is why we have a show. But nonetheless, back to the phones. Enjoy the background. It's Corn Dog.
Oh, man.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, well, you guys were chatting. I was looking at a lot of these schedules of the I looked at the Clippers, Timberwolves, Warriors, Mavericks, us, and Suns, and the only one that has a harder stretch than us is the Suns, and they're a couple games below us. But the rest of them have way easier schedules. The ones above us do.
Yeah. That's why. So when Grant and I think it was when did the schedule come out? It was midsummer. We did like a schedule review.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And we're like, look, here's the areas. And one of the areas was right out of the gate where the Kings had to really, that first month of the season, we were like, you gotta put some fat on. You got to get some reserve for the lean times when you're going to have schedule losses, when you're going to have tough stretches. And that's why when I said, if the Kings don't go 5-2 in this first 7 out of the break, they're not making the play-in. It's because of what you just looked at, what me and Mr. Moss looked at. It's murderer's row for the Kings after this 7-game stretch.
Yeah, the only one that has it worse is really Phoenix, because they got Milwaukee and Boston twice in that stretch.
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing too that we got to think about. Phoenix is underachieving. They are greatly underachieving.
Oh, yeah. Oh, considering they pay what, 150 for 3 guys?
Matt Ishbia is paying $160 million plus in the luxury tax. For what? For an 11 seed right now?
For, aging Kevin Durant.
Right. Unbelievable.
Bradley Beal, who's just doesn't mesh with Booker and them. Yeah, that experiment was a massive failure.
Bradley Beal has to be the worst contract in the history of the NBA.
It's outrageous, egregious, preposterous.
It has a no trade clause.
I know. Yes, a great point.
And the only people besides him that have no trade clauses are all bona fide first ballot Hall of Famers, and he is not anywhere near that level. Like that was ridiculous that he got that no trade clause. Like that was one of the most preposterous things I've ever seen, when someone just not at that, Kobe, Jordan, Dirk level of, like this guy's storied Hall of Fame career. Like Bradley Beal's a very good player, but that's where it ends. Very good player. He is not worth all that.
Yeah, I don't know how you get rid of him. I mean, he's that dude on the couch. Like, if you've got a squatter, you can't get rid of him. Like, the only way you can do it is cash for keys. You got to buy him out. Like,
you could always have Shrek take him out.
Shrek, okay.
Yeah, Shrek knows how to get rid of squatters.
Does he? I did not know that.
Yeah, the whole report of the first movie.
Shrek had to get rid of a squatter in the first movie?
Remember, all the fairy tale creatures squatted on his swamp?
I don't remember that part. I should remember that part.
What are you doing in my swamp? And it's like everything, the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, like the witches, the Snow White.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. So Shrek knows how to get rid of squatters.
You're right. All right. Fair enough.
But I mean, hard to find a Shrek.
Well, I mean, I think you got a couple of them on your team. Valanciunas is kind of a Shrek dude. I mean, I'm not saying he's ugly, but he's got the build, right? Sabonis a little bit to a degree. I mean, the Sabonis sound, I don't know how everybody does not crack up when you hear this guy go to the hoop. That's literally how, like, I'm okay. So those new to the show, I have put together a clip. This is the first part of it is Sabonis going to the hoop, and the second part is Chewbacca. Listen to how similar they are.
Honestly, Sabonis always makes those weird sounds when he's at the hoop.
Yeah, crazy. So, what's going on in your world? Anything else you want to hit?
Not really too much. I mean, I'm finally, not sick all the damn time.
Good.
Yeah,
I know.
I take a trip, I come back with a cold, then I get better, and then like 2 weeks later, I get that stomach virus.
Yeah, the stomach stuff is the worst.
I've just been just constantly sick to start off this year, but other than that, I'm doing pretty well. Chilling at Costco still, doing my thing, watching hoops, playing games, taking dog out.
There you go. Genty to the Niners. You think that's possible, Corn Dog?
The Niners need help in a lot of other spots besides running back. And they've spent so much money on McCaffrey that also trying to have Genty there. Genty's a high usage guy as well as McCaffrey, like very high usage. The Niners just need help in other positions. I think more important than that. I think most of the McCaffrey thing was just staying healthy, and he pretty much didn't play this whole year. And then he finally got back to it near the end, and honestly didn't look half bad. Also, before I make any predictions on like where people are going, because I got to see the combine stats as well, which is this week. I need to see, like 40 times and verts and cone drills and bench press, all that. Yeah.
Stop it, dude. You need to see cone drills. Drills are going to help you figure it out.
Cone drills.
You need to see cone drills. What is the cone drill going to tell you?
It's going to tell me how shifty they are, man.
Oh my gosh, dude.
You got to go, football ain't just, north and south. You got to be able to make those cuts quick, man.
Dude, you are one of a
That's the difference between a Sammy Watkins and a Tyreek Hill type,
You are one of a kind. I freaking love you so much, dude. Because you're not even joking around. I need to see the cone drills.
I do need to see the cone drills.
Are you sitting in front of your TV with your own stopwatch, like clocking, timing your own?
No pen, notepad, like looking at the time.
Holy crap. So good.
Just adding my own analysis.
So good, man. You're the best. You are the freaking best. Never change.
You know what's funny? That
you know
college football has already released their schedules.
Dude, they've already been. There's no
Yeah.
off season in college anymore.
Like,
There's none.
I'm like, why am I getting the like scheduling like get your ticket? Like I got a thing like get your tickets now. I'm like, already, man. I haven't even finished. I barely finished NFL. Baseball's about to start. Like
Well,
NBA's not even close to done.
Your college football. I will definitely give you that. All right, dude. Be well. Good to see you as always.
Yeah. Let's hope I can actually stay healthy for a month.
Yeah, I know, bro. That's not good. Wait, never mind. I don't want the details. I'm not gonna ask.
It just happened.
Be well. Yeah. Oh, that's the worst. That is the worst. Core dog, getting healthy. Oh, that's what I was gonna tell him. It's really funny because I don't always catch Grant's open forum shows, but I will occasionally have a few minutes and catch him. Sorry, boss, if you're watching this. But whenever Corn Dog calls, he always has Corn Dog on the screen as his name. It's Corn Dog. Grant refuses to say it. He won't say it. He'll go, "What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? Hey, bud. How you doing, man? What's up, dude?" He won't say Corn Dog. And it all started with Grant. Grant called the man Corn Dog. That's why we call him Corn Dog around here. Oh my goodness. All right, let's here's some audio from Doug Christie. Let's get some audio from Domas after practice yesterday. Thought that was pretty important stuff. Here is now we're not going to work. The challenges of traveling. Did I get disconnected? You best not have disconnected me. I guess we are not going to hear Domas. All right, never mind. No Domas while this reconnects. What the heck? Yep, no connection to the internet. All right, you're going to bear with me for a second while we reconnect to the internet. Why is this happening to me? Not on my second computer. Please give me some love. I'm trying to get to my man Domas. He had some good stuff to say. By the way, Domas only played 27 minutes last game. That's great. That should be the same tonight. I'm really hoping that Domas, the starters, are able to get a decent amount of rest tonight. They deserve it. They need it. They have been playing heavy minutes, heavy burn. I mean, a ton of burn. So connect to the internet. Yes, please. Connect now. Room number. Not going to tell any of you. Here we go. So we're doing this in live time. Last name. Only some of you know. And we are good to go. Now we're going to get some Domas sound. Thank you for adding my device to my internet plan. Thank you very much. Working on the fly. Glad that didn't happen tonight on the post game. There we go. Here is Domas after practice.
At least knew where our spots were for most of the game, so that definitely helped a lot, and I felt like we were better on defense.
So defensive side of the ball, a lot of offensive rebounds last night. So the crash zones, is that still something you guys are emphasizing, or is it a different?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we always, we can't let teams get, we struggle on defense and then let them get offensive rebounds. It's not going to help us. So that's obviously something that's a big emphasis as well.
How much you set guys up, it seems like knowing tendencies is really helpful. Just what have you learned about, how to help Zach in that aspect?
Yeah, we talked a couple of days, these practices of how he likes the ball. He likes it differently than other guys, and I'm happy he spoke up, so now I'm just focused on that.
Do you mind sharing some of that?
He likes the ball passed to him so he can hold the ball, create, What I do with the other guys, he prefers it a different way, so that's good to know.
What do you feel is like the easiest to clean up of all the things you guys focused on the past few days?
Just spacing, I hope, the spacing and knowing where we are, because we might get into something. Someone might go one-on-one because we got a lot of talented players, but as long as we know our spacing, if that doesn't work, we know how to get into other things.
I think get more involved in the technical playmaking aspect of things. Did you give the two-man game, you have a Malik that's clearly kind of lead. Do you feel like you have that with other guys in these new games?
Yeah, we're building on it. Every game, we're trying to put ourselves more in those situations. And as the games goes on, we'll find it.
At this time of year, are you watching the standings like every day?
Sometimes no. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about us. I know last night a lot of teams lost, so that definitely helped us. But at this point, we just got to take care of our own business.
Speaking of, like piggybacking off of that, obviously after getting blown out by the Warriors and then being able to get this, emphatic win yesterday, confidence level with this team as you guys head into this final stretch. What do you think it does for you guys' just morale and mentality heading?
The best part about that is after the Warriors game, we had 2 days to really get practice in, and bring it up a notch, after that first win after the break, so that's what really helped us.
You mentioned yesterday holding him to 88 points. What do you think was, from your perspective, working well on that end?
I feel like we were connected, and we ran the game plan as best as we could, and kind of stuck through it throughout the whole game, so that definitely helped us.
All right, so connection is the key. We've got the whiteboard up right now. Let me explain to you what has happened. So what happened here, Markelle Fultz, who I'm going to circle him right here. Markelle brought the ball up. So Markelle brings the ball up. He makes the pass to Valanciunas. Okay, we all on the same page there? Good. All right, so this was the set that the Kings were running a lot of the night. One of the many sets, but it gave them multiple options. And here's what I want to show you. What Domas said about getting the ball to Zach LaVine. So important. Getting him in the spots that he wants to have the ball instead of giving him the ball and saying, okay, go make a play, get to your spot, get a shot up, set up your teammate. No, he's a guy that thrives off of coming off a movement, coming off a screen. So this was one of the better sets. I'm going to show you all of the different options that the Kings can do out of this set and what they ultimately did out of this set. So the ball comes to Valanciunas here. We've got Valley. Oh, I got to get the white pen back up. You got Valanciunas with the ball right here. So what I loved about this is your first option that you can do is Markelle Fultz can set a screen right here on this guy, and Monk can come right up here to get the ball. Okay? That is your first option. If they see that the defense is creeping up, instead of Fultz setting this screen for Malik Monk, what will happen is Malik Monk will come set a screen on this guy. Fultz sets the screen here on Monk's guy, and you have Jake LaRavia, who can come up to the top of the key for a wide open shot. Now, here's another option that they can do out of this. The ball goes to Valanciunas. Fultz, who's right here, can act like he's going to set a screen on Malik Monk's man, but instead, he cuts straight to the hoop. Look at all this wide open space right here. A ton of wide open space. Now, here's your last look that you can do out of this. Valanciunas can pivot back, and you have a two-man game with Zach LaVine, and you have everybody on this side of the court, which can open Zach up. The Kings were running all these different looks from this set against Charlotte. It's a completely different thing from what the Kings had been doing before. They were just going 4 out and 1 in. These are set plays that are based off of reads, and Domas talking about the practice time is what makes that so damn important. We actually saw it work out here. Now, the most important thing to remember about any of this is now the defense has to be on the back of their heels. The defense has no idea what you're going to be doing. None whatsoever. So they have to respect every single cut that you are making. They don't know where you're going to go with the ball. And that is so, so important to what the Kings are trying to do. It's a defensive set we'll talk about. We'll show that later. One where Levine was not doing exactly what he should have been. And then also some of the same stuff that we saw last game, or the game before, I should say, where double teams were being split. So a lot of good stuff happening for the Kings. And again, the set offense, I could not be more happy with seeing that. That is something that many of us have been screaming for. It is something, well, thank you. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for that. At least you can see my scribbles. There we go. Bro, Rhino don't know ball. LOL. Are you kidding me? You don't think I know basketball pressure? Interesting. Yes, the Stockton Kings are playing right now, and they are dominating. It is a day game because they are doing a elementary school event. Each year, they have a couple of games where they have a bunch of elementary schools come out. Last time I checked, they were destroying, and I mean destroying, Memphis. It wasn't even close. Final score 120 to 108. Devin had 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 steals. It's exactly where Devin belongs. Devin needs to be in the G League right now. So I am really glad that he is getting run down there. Carter is my pick. Levine is my pick. Jonas is my pick. What are you talking about, Dennis? Dennis is a scoreboard guy. Like Dennis takes notes on all of his takes. Like there's a date, there's a time. He knows exactly when he why are we still doing this? Ryan's Motel is next to a rent-a-center. Oh my gosh. Y'all are so funny, man. A rent-a-center. Do rent-a-centers still exist? And why would you ever use a rent-a-center, Haunted Horse? What is it? Like 97% interest on that couch that's not even yours? Get a folding chair. My goodness. By the way, shout out. Yeah, that is a sleeper move. I'll give you that for sure. Shout out to my guy, Brendan Nunez. Good dude. Love talking with Brendan. Brendan put some video out a couple of nights ago when the Hornets were in town. It was during a timeout. So here's what happened. Kings made a basket. Charlotte calls timeout. Oh, you drove by yesterday. Really? You drove all the way from Oregon to where I am at. Interesting. Thank you. Wow, really? Here we go. Do they still exist? I don't know if they still exist. Why would a rent? Like, I don't get in this day and age how a rent-a-center could still make money. Let's think about this for a second. Back in the day, right? Let's go like further back in the day, not like 10 years ago, when there was like Circuit Cities and electronic stores. I know you still got Best Buy. TVs were expensive, right? TVs were expensive. So I understood the rent-a-center model. If you couldn't afford a TV, if you couldn't afford an appliance that's essential to your daily living, I get that. But TVs today, you could get a TV for the down payment that you would probably put on it at Rent-A-Center. Might not be the biggest TV, but it would be your TV. Good Guys. Yeah, Good Guys. That was a good one too. That's right. Good Guys had you guys remember Radio Shack? Radio Shack? Anybody? Radio Shack. That was a good one. Yeah, Mashing the Jazz for all of the. Yeah, we will see. Rent to furnish, Airbnb. Yeah, there you go. So back to my point with Brendan Nunez. Thought this was pretty cool. Everybody's making this big deal about what's going to happen when De'Aaron Fox returns to Sacramento. I get it. He's spent, 8 years here in Sacramento? 7, 8 years? don't care to remember off the top of my head because he's not a king anymore, but he returns on March 7th. I have said the reaction for De'Aaron Fox is going to be based upon what the Kings do. Are the Kings going to roll out the red carpet? Are the Kings going to give him a little video? Are the Kings going to do a special introduction for him like they would for a home player, for a king, and give the crowd the chance to serenade him with a standing ovation for 3, 4, 5 minutes? What are the Kings going to do? Yeah, John's right. I am in John's spare bedroom. Damn it. See, now you guys can quit guessing. I'm in John's spare bedroom. Good job, John. Hey, at least I don't put like a background behind me. I'm real with all you guys. You know where I'm at. You know that I'm traveling. So I'm not trying to doof anybody here. Come on. Anyways, back to my point. I still think a lot of it's going to deal on what the Kings do with De'Aaron. But check this out. The Kings will always put a promo up for the next home game. The Kings did that during the timeout. This was the reaction from the crowd. Let me play that one more time. I think dude's going to get booed. I think he's going to get booed. Did you hear the fan that said, "Oh my God"? He's going to get booed. So I found that very, very interesting. Do with it what you will, but interesting that the Kings put that up. They could have just put a Spurs logo. They didn't have to put De'Aaron up. You know what I call that? I call that testing the waters. That was not by mistake. The Kings put a picture of De'Aaron Fox up there on purpose to see what the quick reaction would be. To put a toe in the water, a feeler, and they got it. So we will see what happens when he returns March 7th. I am going to get out of here because we are back at 5 o'clock. Don't forget, we are doing our Kings Roundtable. That will lead you into the Kings and the Jazz full coverage tonight, also with halftime and post-game with Grant and I. But before that, the roundtable, 5 o'clock. Looking forward to being back with all of you. Grant and Jerry will be here as well. Get you ready for the Kings and the Jazz. Fun show today, quick show. But we're back in here just another hour, 45 minutes. Come back and join us. Go Kings, light the damn beam. We are out.